I'm out here at the ranch this morning and I see that I've got at least 2 calves with pink eye that need to be treated. And rather than go out there and chase them all up here, I'm just gonna wait because it looks like the cattle are kind of making their way up here right now anyway. While I'm waiting on the cows to make their way up here, I've got a couple other little jobs that I need to do. And when we get finished with the pink eye calves, we'll just kind of see where the day takes us. That's what's going on today on Farmertylerranch. Well, Rivet's given us a nice demonstration of how a back rubber is supposed to work, but there's only one problem. I don't have any insecticide charged in it yet. Charge this thing up, the best way that I found to do it is by using a pump sprayer with the tip removed, and then you don't get a whole bunch of pressure in there, just enough so it dribbles out. That way you can get a nice even application on this thing without spilling a bunch of it on the ground. Well, now that's all done, and as luck would have it, all the cows are up here in the corral. Correction, there are still 2 that are out there, but as long as all the calves are up here, those are the ones that I really need. Well, that worked great. That gives me plenty of room to run the calves through without trying to worry about this thing. A few more than we need. Well, I guess we're taking the crew. A couple you can go back by, but not all of you. So I think the only one I actually need is this little black and white faced steer here. Sometimes just easier to take the group. Well, now I got to sort this guy off, so you should see a black white faced cow, a black cow, and a gray calf come back through. If you see a black white faced calf come back through, that means I screwed up. Bring that calf back here so he'll share a fence line with his mother and hopefully settle down a little bit. Other way, other way, other way. No, 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 no. You're getting there. I believe the next calf we're looking for is a char calf, number 19. There's 19 looking at us right there. You gonna go by yourself? I feel like that's not probably gonna happen. So 19 in front there. Yes. Okay, same thing. We got a black cow and then looks like a char white face heifer that's got to come out. Oh, should have went. Should have went, man. All right, let's get these 2 together before they break something. And then we can get them through the chute. There we are. See? I'll tell you what, this age of calf is really tough to deal with because they're big enough and strong enough to be dangerous. They can hurt you. But they're not mature enough yet to really slow down and think clearly like an older cow might. This guy is actually not in that bad a shape, but I'm glad that I caught him when I did, because, you know, it only gets worse from here. So treating him now, it ought to lead to a quick recovery. Show people what you got going on here. Behave yourself now. Oh, that's a good one. The powder will help fight that infection, and then I'll put a patch over him. And the only reason that you put a patch on is really just for their own comfort. When the eye's infected like that, they say that sunlight really bothers it. Now, how they know that, I'm not sure. It's not like you can ask them. But it's not uncommon to see a cow with an eye infection standing in the shade, squinting, holding it closed. And when you put a patch on them, then they don't have to worry about those things. Trap that fly in there. You're okay. You're okay. Hit your mama. Relax. You get a patch. All right, I think that's that. I looked through the rest of the group here, and I don't see anybody else that needs immediate attention, or any sort of attention for that matter. So let's go ahead and close these panels back up, and I want to turn the cow sprayer on now. I think they have been desensitized to this thing enough that they can start walking through it. So we'll see if we can get anyone to go through. Yeah, girl. Well, a couple of cows made it through. See, the way I've got this set up is that if they want to get water, they have to walk through it this way. And if they want to go back out and eat, then they have to walk through it that way. Well, it took a little bit of time, but every adult cow has now walked through the sprayer. And I've only got 2 calves and the teen mom that still refuse to do it. I can't tell you how long it's gonna take, but sooner or later they're gonna get hungry and they'll work up the courage to do it, and they'll get used to it and things will be fine. But like I said, some take longer than others. So it looks like sending the entire herd through here uses somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 gallons of spray, which means that they should be able to walk through here about 12 times before I have to refill this tank. Well, it is fun to watch them walk through there. The better part is coming back and looking at all the dead flies on the ground. I couldn't even venture a guess at how many are down there. It could be hundreds, it could be thousands, but there's a bunch. And that's just one time through the sprayer. They usually come up into the main corral here probably 3 to 4 times a day, just depending on what the weather is like. So if you're getting a kill like that each time they come through, I'd say in a day or two, there's gonna be a noticeable reduction of flies out there. It's the next morning now, and one thing that I'm thinking about I need to start working on is getting all the old hay out of the barn here. I've got 24 bales of last year's crop, and I want to get it moved out so when I start bringing the new hay over that we don't have old hay trapped in the back of the barn. Except for maybe 5 bales I was thinking I would take from the old stack and put them in the wing here so that the cats still have somewhere to hide out and call home. Yeah, talking about you. And here comes the other black one. There's the brown one. There you go, guys. So the plan is to take those excess bales in the barn and put them right here in this little yard. You can see the weeds are kind of tall here. We've got some piles of decomposed rice in this bin, of course. So I'll have to get all this stuff moved. I want to get the weeds chopped down first and then start moving the hay. And while it's cool and damp this morning, I think I'll go ahead and get the string trimming done, and then we'll get the rest of that done at some other point. If this will start. All right, looks a lot better. We're over here at the heifer pasture now. I had to run to town to get some oil for my truck, and I figured while we were in this neck of the woods, we stop by and check on this calf that we doctored about a week ago. It's like everybody's hanging out down here by the water. It's always nice when they're easy to find. 4 heifers, 3 cows, and 3 calves. Just what we wanted to see. How's everyone else's eyes looking? Good, I hope. Well, the little calf number 18 still got his eye patch on, so it's hard to tell if the eye is much better or not. But what I can tell you is he's with the herd, which is a good sign. He hasn't had pink eye spread to his other eye, which is another good sign. And overall, he seems like he's doing well. I would imagine in the next week or so that patch will fall off and we'll be able to get a good look at him then. In other good news, it doesn't look like anybody else has started getting pink eye, and I'm sure that's largely thanks to the fact that this pasture is mowed. Caboose. Caboose. So you guys do it. One last thing before we leave, one of these sprinklers here, if you guys remember, I left the orifice out of it so that the line could flush out, and I need to put one back in because I'm watching it go here, or try to go I should say, and it's just kind of stuck in this spot. I think it's because the stream coming out of the sprinkler is not as high a pressure as it needs to be. So let's put an orifice in it and see if that fixes it. Boy, can't do it without getting soaked. There it goes. Okay. Oh yeah, I did it. All right, well that worked like a charm. Pants got a little bit wet, but you know, if you're checking sprinklers, the expectation must be that you're gonna get wet because, well, you're gonna get wet. Back from town now, and I grabbed a few things, one of which are some more of these, they're called Bovis strips. What this is basically strips of cotton that are probably way overpriced, and I probably should have just torn up an old t-shirt to do it, but they go on these back rubbers, and you can see this one I've got up here in the bullpen is missing a few, so we're going to replace them. So you like it just how it is, huh? That looks a little better. The face strips here aren't really for Rivet. He's very good about rubbing all over this thing, but I don't see the other two doing it as much, but I know that they do walk in and out of here. So the purpose of these is basically the insecticide is gonna soak into the strips. Like you can tell on these strips that were already up, they're saturated with insecticide right now. With the strips on there, they get better coverage on their face and then along the sides of their body as well. Oh, it's different now. What are you gonna do about that? We're just a little over 24 hours since turning on the cow sprayer, and you can notice a couple of things already. First of all, the cattle are a lot more confident walking through this thing. When that pump trips, they don't jump and jump back and get scared. They just, honestly, some of them walk through it too slowly and it doesn't even get all the way to their hip. But you know, that's another issue. And the other thing that really stands out is how much fewer flies there are on the cattle, on their bodies anyway. I still am seeing a lot of face flies, but that's kind of to be expected because I don't have this set up to spray them in the face. Calves are still kind of leery of the cow sprayer, but you know, they'll get used to it. So I guess what I'm saying is, even though it took a lot of training and conditioning of the cattle to get them to walk through the cow sprayer, now that they are used to it, it is working. Well, I guess the haystack's not going anywhere and it'll be here for me tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.